Welcome to Showboat, a series of podcasts from the Battleship North Carolina in Wilmington. I'm Danielle Wallace, Programs Director, and welcome to another episode of the Showboat podcast. Today, I'm so excited to be talking to Grady Jarman of Shady Grady. He is our brand new Battlestar Collection vendor, and he works with wood and a lot of other materials, and he has a great story to tell. But Grady, welcome to the Showboat podcast. Tell me how you came about to be an artisan.
I'm a fireman with Wilmington for 19 years now. I'm 42. I have 3 awesome kids and an amazing wife. I started making all types of things a long time ago when it all started. Basically, I got in a motorcycle wreck after I got out of the service, and I didn't get hurt bad, but I didn't have enough money to fix my motorcycle, so I fixed it myself. And then next thing you know, I realized I can do this. So I started buying tools and things, and fast forward to making knives. It actually started, started making pins, and then watching YouTube videos, and then I stumbled across a Walter Sorrell's video on how to make a knife, and I was like, well, I can do that too. So I bought some stuff, and now I've got a fully functional knife shop, and here we are. And I'm making make all sorts of stuff. Shady Grady EDC is a company that we don't just make knives. We make knives, pins, wallets, all kinds of different things that you would. EDC stands for everyday carry. So it would be whatever you put in your pocket, your knife, your pen, your wallet, your comb, anything that you would carry with you every day. Like before you walk out of the house, you check your pockets and make sure you have everything. That's the type of stuff that I do. So that's how that happened.
Well, that is really interesting about the motorcycle accident and how you essentially self-taught yourself how to do all of this. And I know for myself, when we interviewed Nick for the Showboat podcast, he brought in one of your bottle openers with all of this different wood, and it was absolutely beautiful. And I was like, I have to know more about that, and I have to have it. But I also understand that you mentioned that you were in the service. So please tell me a little bit about your military career.
Well, my military career isn't long. I got injured, but basically shortly after high school, I got married really young. That's why there's a big gap between my children. But I got married early and needed to forge my own path, and so I joined the Air Force and went off to Lackland in Texas and was did boot camp there, and then I was in training for I did security forces, which is basically Air Force police, right? But their job is a split job. Part of it is base security, and the other part is retention of assets. So what we would do is let's say the government says, hey, we need to put an airstrip here, right? The combat forces would go in, they would clear the area, they would drop us, and then we would maintain security of that area until the engineers and the infrastructure could get put in and all that sort of thing.
Well, gosh, I feel like just calling you Mr. Fix-It. Yeah. Because it seems like you're fixing everything, whether it's a motorcycle, airstrip landings, your knee, everything. But you mentioned the fire department. And I believe you are part of the Wilmington Fire Department. Yep. And Wilmington Fire Department, for some of our listeners who do not know, they come on a regular basis here to the battleship and conduct confined space trainings. And I understand that you have been part of that.
Oh, yeah, a lot.
Do you want to tell me about some of your stories or experiences of that training?
I've had the pleasure of being on here quite a few times over the last 19 years. And I like to, we did some confined space things, and we do shipboard firefighting training on here. And, we do spend a lot of time here, but one of my favorite things is to go down to some of the places that maybe people don't get to see on the regular tour. And I enjoy going in the brig and seeing all the things that people have written on the walls of the brig, like John J, 45 days insubordination or whatever, the little rhymes and things that are on there is pretty funny, and then some of the places we've gotten to go, you could see where guys that were working on this ship back in the day when it was still in use, like their razor is still sitting on the shelf, underneath the mirror in the bathroom, or in the head rather. And it's pretty interesting to see that it's pretty much stayed the way it was, as long as it has. So
I think that that's an awesome experience, and I schedule all of the confined space trainings, and so it's really fun to hear some feedback about what actually goes on,
yeah,
and some of the experiences that the guys have.
yeah. One of the things that we like to do is confined space, meaning the space is tight, right? So we there was one time where we took a guy who was probably bigger than we wanted him to be, put him in a hole that was smaller than we wanted it to be in, and we had to and it was in between the inner hull and the outer hull of the ship, and just stuck him down there. And they said, "Hey, go in there and get him." And with all of our extra equipment, that we're breathing air from a supplied air bottle, but we've got rescue bottles and things on our hips, and we got to go in this hole that's 12, 14 inches, and we got to get a guy who's 18 inches or better out of the hole, and you got to do it for time, and you got to pretend like it's real, and it's interesting. It's fun. There's frustrations, and there's some things said, and but that's just how the job is. But it's fun, and it's a challenge, and that's why we come here, is because we could go to other ships maybe at the ports or whatever, but they're on a time crunch. They don't have time to just let us have fun, and learn. We have to get in there and get out if we get a chance. So it's really more just the tour, but here we can actually challenge ourselves, and we have time to work through and make mistakes and learn and all those things, which you wouldn't get at a ship at, say, the ports. Plus, the ships at the ports are where we're going to need those skills, because we go there all the time for rescue situations, and it's good to be able to kind of learn and make mistakes here before we have to go do it for real over there. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, gosh, absolutely. And I know that as a staff, we are very happy to have the Wilmington Fire Department and other local fire departments come and train here, because we know that it's important to y'all, and we're happy that y'all could use us as a venue for that training. So thank you for your service and all of that, because when there's a problem, we want those people to know how to get that 18-inch person out of that 14-inch hole in one piece, and maybe in some cases it might be more than 18 inches.
I've actually been here a few times and actually done low skill, low stress rescues on this boat 2 or 3 times over the years. A visitor would on a tour, maybe thinks he's a little sprier than he probably really is, and ends up getting winded, and we have to help him up, or somebody falls down a flight of stairs or something like that and can't really get themselves out. So also having the experience of being on here quite a bit, it really helps those situations as well.
Well, exactly, and that's another reason why we are so thankful for y'all to come and train. I know in the summer is when we get a lot of people who I think have some heat exhaustion because it's just so hot down below. They don't realize it, and I think one of our most popular visitor photos is of the crew in the I think they're in the laundry in their underwear doing it because it's so hot. So that's always a fun picture. But when did you start to work with wood?
Well, wood in particular, I mean, I did carpentry work and stuff, but that's not what we're talking about. Crafting with wood, I guess, started back when I started pen making, because wood, as far as crafting and making is concerned, wood is pretty forgiving, and and you can also make it do what you want. So, and it's beautiful, right? So pins are naturally lean towards wood, good pins at least, and but some of the other nifty like acrylic and bright colors and things like that, those aren't as forgiving as wood can be. So of course, as a new maker, wood is kind of what you start with. You know what I mean? It's softer, it turns faster. But then when it comes to knives, well, you got different customers. You've got a customer that wants a tactical kind of knife, and you got customers that want a traditional kind of knife. Or, age definitely plays a part in that. And wood is very, very popular with the older person, or somebody wants a traditional knife, or somebody wants a rustic, field knife. And of course, wood is wonderful for that situation. But whenever it comes to a knife, I prefer to use stabilized woods, and because it won't swell, it won't absorb moisture, it won't crack over time. It acts a lot like, and you can preserve it for a long time. So it won't. It acts a little bit more like plastic, but it still looks like wood, and you can preserve it and make it last. And that's a perfect marriage with the teak from the Battleship, is because there's not a whole lot of it left. It's not going to be, it's not going to last forever, but it's going to last a lot longer if we can stabilize it. And I won't use it. I won't put it on the knife if it's not stabilized. And I do it all myself, so that's why it works so well with this wood, is because it's special. I can make it last a lot longer, and it makes a better product in the end.
The first product that we are going to feature on the Battlestar collection of yours is this bottle opener with a teak handle, but it has a very unique sort of design, or at least I have not seen that design with a bottle opener before. How did you come up with that?
In turning, what happens is you basically turn the wood parts, or the plastic parts, the acrylic parts, whatever that is, you turn those around on a lathe, and you make the design. And like with pins, you buy your metal parts from a supply company, and then so you press the pieces together and you make pins, right? Well, I was looking in the catalog, and I found this thing called just a bottle opener, but I had no idea what in the world it was. So I bought one, and it's just the metal end. I bought one, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And I made some of those, gave them out to my family and friends, to see what they like, see how they thought. Do you like this? You think it's cool? Is it worth doing? Or is it just a piece of junk? Which some of those things can be, but the people really liked them. And then I showed it to my buddy Nick, who you mentioned earlier, and he was like, the Battleship would love this. So I was like, okay. All right, I'm in, So he brought it over here, and there you go, But really what I do is I buy the end part. It's a metal cylinder, basically, that's been turned on the lathe to be able to open a bottle from any direction and sit flat so it can live on your countertop, and you don't have to go looking for it. You don't have to go rummaging through the drawer that has the wine cork opener that you never use, and the toothpicks and the Taco Bell packets. It can live on your counter, and it looks good, and it's super easy. You don't have to figure out which end you're going to use or how to, if it's on the bottle right. It just works all the time. And so what I do is I buy that end, and I buy the wood, or I get the wood, however we want to do it, and I take the wood and I stabilize it, and I just turn it around in various different designs or grips and things, and customize it. Would you like me to talk about the stabilizing process real quick?
Do.
Okay, sure.
Please do.
Yeah. So basically, what happens is you take wood, right, and it's splintery, and it's soft, and it's lightweight, and it's dry, and so that doesn't make for a very long lasting thing anymore, right? So what you do is you put it under, you put it in a tank, and you cover it in a resin that's heat cured. You put it under vacuum, and what that does is it draws out all the air bubbles. When you cut the vacuum off, those voids where the air bubbles are then replaced with resin. You do it again. You do it again until it stops making bubbles, and then there's no air left in there, and all that places, all those voids, and all those air pockets are now filled with resin. You take that out, you put it in the oven, and then that resin cures. So now you've got all these fibers that are now kind of glued together, with the resin that's hard and is not, it won't absorb moisture. It's permeable. It can be polished. It can be sanded to a high finish, but not like a normal wood would be. So then once you do that, then I cut it up and chuck it up on the lathe and turn it down and make it look cool,
Well, when I first saw your bottle opener, my eyes did get very big and open, and I was like, this is beautiful. I absolutely love it. And you were kind enough to personalize it with BB55 on the very tip. It's nice and subtle, which I like. I think our customers are going to like that. And again, I think that this is a product that would look great on any kitchen. And it's great, you could put it in your bag for going on a picnic or coming to the battleship to see the fireworks and use it to pop a bottle open and for a beer, whatever, root beer, whatever, sarsaparilla,
Yeah.
whatever you want to drink. And it's going to be beautiful. And I know that it is currently available on battlestarcollection.com. But I would like you to tell me now about when I first approached you to be a vendor, and if you would like to do this, what were your initial thoughts?
I was like, heck yeah, man, that's gonna be awesome. Any opportunity for more eyes to see my product and any opportunity for me to be able to help the boat out is a win for me, because I'm born and raised in Wilmington. I love this place. I would come to this boat as a kid. My grandma helped pay for this boat and get it here with her milk money, and actually ever since I've kind of been telling people that this is what I'm doing, and they're like, wow, that's awesome. My grandma tells me about when she was, how that she calls that her ship, and I was like, well, no, because that's my grandma's ship, But yeah, I was like, heck yeah, man, this is awesome, and it's an opportunity for more people to see my stuff. And it's an opportunity for you guys to find a product that might be more accessible to more people. Not just a knife or not just, but also the price is going to be at a better place than some of the other things, and hopefully it'll make your collection more well-rounded and more received by the customers. And that's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for.
Well, absolutely. And I can't agree with you more when you're talking about your grandmother and that. Nope, that's my grandmother's ship. My master's thesis was actually a visitor study of the battleship, and I called it the people's ship, because I really feel that people have a strong connection to this battleship, more so than I think other historic ships, because as far as I was able to determine, that we were the only sort of grassroots efforts where the citizens of the state got together to bring this ship to Wilmington. That does make us unique, and that does make us special, and I'm just going to say that does make us number one. But it makes me think, too, what you were saying about your grandmother. The tagline for the Battlestar collection is steel, wood, our stories, your stories. Each one is the same, but they're all different. Mm-hmm. And again, that just circles around how this is exactly the fact that this ship is steel and wood. Mm-hmm. It's our stories, and that it's the crew, but yet it's also your stories of your own experiences with the ship. Yep. They're all sort of the same, and that, people are coming to the ship, but yet each one is a little bit different.
And not to tag my bottle openers, but they all look the same. But they're all made differently. Each individual one is turned individually by hand by me, and they're going to be the same wood. They're going to have a similar grain pattern, but none of them are exactly the same. And I did that on purpose, but I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I can make them all the same anyway, because it's all made by hand. But each one of them is different. So if you're interested in one, you're going to have to kind of look at all of them and kind of decide which one you like the best,
Well, that's what we wanted from you. Yeah. We don't want them to all look the same. That's the purpose of the Battlestar collection, and that, each product is a little bit different. And that's what makes it so special and unique. And each product does come with a certificate of authenticity signed from the captain saying that this product that you use, the teak, was original to the battleship.
That's awesome. And I enjoyed it. It was a pleasure. It's good wood to work with. It looks good. There's a whole lot of character in some of it, and I like I said, I had a blast, and it was really easy to work. So I'm glad.
Well, Grady, I'm so excited, and everyone, please check out Battlestar Collection to see Grady's bottle opener. Buy it, order it, use it. Get one for yourself, get one for a gift, and we're probably going to be adding some more of his products, of his everyday care products at EDC pretty soon. So please continue to check us out.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for spending some time with us today. And everyone, I can't wait to talk to y'all about our next upcoming Showboat podcast episode. Thank you for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. From the Battleship North Carolina in Wilmington, North Carolina. Please check out our Showboats podcast webpage on battleshipnc.com. We have put some pictures of Grady and his teak bottle opener on the podcast page, and so hopefully some video will be coming soon. Of course, his products are available for sale on battlestarcollection.com. We'll see you next time.